It was time for me to leave Bukhara and say bye to my wonderful host. I took the high-speed train to go to Samarkand, which is the next step of my trip. In there, I was planning to meet my host and I decided to take the local bus to try a different experience. But not long after, I realized that it was a big failure. I had asked the driver to let me know when to stop, but he forgot about me. Which is what I was trying to tell you at the camera right now, had he let me be a little bit more audible.
He's probably gonna try to bring me back there. Now doing again the same route, but on the other side. Now I took a taxi to meet Aysulu, the mom of Kholiman, if you guys remember, in Nukus. I was staying at Kholiman's and Anwar's house. Really insisted for me to stay with the mom in here in Samarkand. So here we are again, invited in a different house. So yeah, Uzbekistan is really special. So we just dropped the kid at the kindergarten and now we're gonna head for the Museum of Archaeology where she works.
Since Aysulu was very busy with work this morning, she set me up with one of her colleagues, a young anthropologist who would be my guide for the day.
And this is from stone period, from different region, Kulbulak, it's Tashkent.
So these are all humans?
Yes, all humans.
Wow, this one doesn't look human.
Deformation schools.
What?
They made a deformation for different purposes.
So Naiso then started explaining to me how humans at this time used to intentionally apply force on their baby's skull to deform their heads for a social norm.
They used to put the bodies of the dead elevated so vultures and birds would actually come and eat the flesh. We just had a very detailed explanation and now they're telling me that next year they're preparing to expose some of these artifacts in the Louvre in Paris.
With me wanting to be an archaeologist as a kid, it was fascinating to see how much passion and time it takes them to excavate and restore very carefully the artifacts from our past.
Now we're Nios and he's taken the day off from work to show me around the city. So that's how nice Uzbek people are. Some of the things we saw within the Archaeological Museum actually were excavated from this area called Afrosiab.
So we started the visits by going to the mausoleum of the first president of Uzbekistan, and then of mausoleums that were dedicated to the sister, the wives, and the generals of the very famous Amir Timur, who was one of the greatest leaders in the history of Central Asia.
"40 years ago or 60 years ago, 1960, this is what it looked like, and now,
Wow.
I think we're getting very lucky today because I'm seeing here they're shooting a reality TV, and I'm pretty sure it's Pekin Express, a reality TV show I was watching as a kid in France, where basically they only have $1 per day and they need to travel into a country in pairs of two. It seems like the Italian version of Pekin Express. I was asking about this, the designs you're seeing here. You know, I'm not used to see human or animal representations in Islamic art, but it says basically that the lion is the human beings in their natural state, like very wild, violent, and in their back you have the sun, which is the enlightenment, the education, the knowledge that they get, and by getting this knowledge then they turn into something more pure, which is like this represented by the white deer, and trying to reach in the middle perfection.
Wow. The crazy thing about Samarkand is that each building seemed to be more beautiful than the previous one. And even crazier than this Once you stepped inside the building, you get to see this. Alright, after these very interesting visits, it was now time to try some local food.
So let's try this pirashka.
Local fast food.
Local fast food. Yeah, we have something in Morocco that is it's called shrinj. It's a little bit the same, but not potato inside in Morocco. Yeah. Pirashka.
We ended the day by visiting one of the main markets of Samarkand, Siab markets. We then went back to Aisulu's place, where we had some tasty traditional food from Karakal, Pakistan. And she also started to show me all her collections of ceramics, dolls, and I even had a very nice surprise. That's a collection of all the flags. And what do I find in here? The flag of my home, Brittany, the region in France. So we're here everywhere, representing.
Dozens of taxi drivers. The minute you step in, everybody jumps at you, but they're all super nice. He's again arranging for everything. This guy is amazing.
And here we go for a 5 to 6 hour ride towards the border with Afghanistan.
In the middle of nowhere right now. He's driving like super fast, like 150, 160 on roads that are really not that good, and slaloming between cars. He's checking my content in here on the Naspacker, and he's telling me, please film the car. So he is very proud of his car. Brand new Chevrolet.
With no other choice than to keep riding, I was only left with hoping that we would reach safe and sound.
We've been driving for 3 hours now. Quite interesting. Landscape changed completely compared to the rest of the country. You can feel that you're driving south towards the border with Afghanistan. Start to see some mountains and lots of people on horses and much more a rural area.
After 6 hours of an intense and interesting ride, I finally reached my destination, with priority number 1 being finding a good place to eat.
This thing is so good. I decided to take another 2. So here we go again. Right now, I'm seeing a football game. Let's check it out. Today, the plan is to explore the surroundings of this village called Boysun. Just got picked up by the taxi driver. I'm discovering slowly the village. It's quite small. It has a few shops, but then very quickly you end up on much smaller roads, and you see that people have sheep and their own farms. And the beautiful thing is that around the city you have a lot of mountains with snow already.
Petit magasin, notre village. Les femmes.
Okay. Ah, okay.
So we started the day by visiting this little cooperative where local women sell their handmade carpets. We then headed towards the mountains and the canyons, hoping that the weather would get better.
C'est quoi?
Ça s'appelle noces. 5 minutes après, regardez-moi.
Ok. Il va la cracher?
Oui, oui.
Ah, sous la langue. Now he's drinking it. Again, cleaning it. That's the local cigarette here in Boysun.
Well, the first place we're heading to is called Khoja Maikhona. It's a 1 hour drive from Boysun, going through beautiful mountains, natural springs emerging out of nowhere, and reaching a gorgeous canyon.
We're going to explore a bit here with the driver. He's showing me around. Okay.
On top of being a gorgeous natural place, Khojamay Khona is also very holy to the people of Boysun. Indeed, many local saints are buried all around the mountain, and it then makes it a place dedicated to ziyarat. Ziyarat are special visits that the locals do to the graves of the saints, where they go and pray for the soul of the saint and they ask for things that they wish to have in life. When it comes specifically to Khojamay Khona, it is apparently well known for women who want to get pregnant but who cannot. So they just have to drink the water, say some prayers, and hope for the best.
Vous pouvez la boire? Shifa. Ah. Good, yeah? Doesn't get fresher than this. Last time I drank water like this, right from the source, was in Aswan, Egypt. Just taking it from the Nile, just drinking it. So they just built a natural oven where basically they put the bread inside within the wall area of the oven, and they let it cool and they just cover it with this. And then they have super nice fresh bread in the middle of the mountain. We didn't plan for the rain, and apparently it brings a lot of limitations to our plans. I'm not sure we're going to be able to do everything we planned for today. Some of the highlights I was really looking forward to might be not accessible when it rains like that. I don't know what's going to happen.
After making a quick stop to a point of view with a small forest, we decided to go for plan B, namely find a warm and good place to eat.
So apparently this is to be eaten with bread.
So this time I was in for trying many new foods. Some yogurt with some spices and lots of pieces of meat.
The rain seems to stop, but it's still very cold. Very, very cold. Alright, so now we're making a quick stop at Uzbekistan's Grand Canyon. Apparently it's behind this small hill. So let's see how nice this canyon is. Oh wow.
Little did I know that Uzbekistan had its own real version of the Grand Canyon, and it's nice. Last stop is at the Omol Khona Natural Springs and Sanatorium. With all the other hiking and sightseeing plans being cancelled because of the rain, I was really putting my hopes on this one.
I think I've been visiting this region in the wrong season. This is completely empty. Normally it's full of people. Even the river is dry. Let's go check it out. See how this water is. Ah, it's locked. Not lucky at all.
Even though the sanatorium is closed, the business of the healing water is still thriving. Considering the current conditions, that is the end of my trip in Boysun, and that is the end of this episode. If you really liked it, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more Naspacker adventures.
Hello, welcome to my guest house.
Bye bye.
Maybe. So you see here, a few bullets, you can find them. You just walk